We are the keepers of the flame, the sacred order. Let the ceremony begin. And today, Faith Lights, we take a look at this. And what this is from the High Desert Sauce Company, it is the ToMango Habanero. And this is a really curious sauce. So I did one earlier from them, a peach something. And I spent a lot of time disliking the label. They have since redone their labels. And instead of having the same graphic on everything and leaving you to kind of wonder which was which, this one is definitely a lot more descriptive. They've sort of gone to this HDSC thing, so maybe that's they're trying to go with that as far as branding. I mean, it's a lot less interesting of a label, but it is definitely a lot more informative. And I believe they're, I have another sauce from them, and I'll have to double check it, but I believe they're color coded possibly with the lettering as to reflect more of the color of the sauce, which is actually kind of a cool idea. Unless I'm misremembering, and then it's still a cool idea, but they're not doing it. So we've got here fire roasted tomatoes. We've got apple cider vinegar, habanero, mango, kosher salt, honey, and garlic. So the idea of putting in, I like fire roasted tomatoes. When I make something with tomatoes, like sauce for lasagna or chili or something like that, that's usually what I wind up using is fire roasted. I like fire roasted stuff generally. But the idea of pairing tomato and mango together is kind of a wild one for me. And it's weird because it's kind of got a foot in, when you add tomato into hot sauces, it tends to make them a bit more accessible. You get a little bit closer to ketchup, and a lot of people use ketchup on everything. I'm not one of those, but ketchup is certainly a very accessible condiment. But you then add in mango, and it's somewhat of a sour mango, so it sort of turns away from that a little bit. It's wild. You can see I spent a lot of time playing with this, trying to really to see where this fits, and I don't think it fits quite anywhere exactly. It is certainly a very inventive and creative sauce, though. I don't think anybody that I'm aware of has done one quite like this. And flavor-wise, it's kind of odd because the expectation with the mango is it's just a touch jarring, because when you have this, it definitely is a bit more tomato forward, and it's kind of like a tomato sauce just with a kind of an odd fruit element to it, if that makes sense. I mean, yes, tomatoes are a fruit, I understand that, but you know, the tropical fruit, I guess, sort of has a distinctive flavor profile, and that's kind of more what I mean. But anyway, a very pretty sauce, this nice lively orange, sort of a, I guess probably a middle orange. You can see there's little bits of the charring from the tomato skin in there. Overall, it's actually, you know, nicely well blended. Visually, it's great, I think. But let's get on into the flavor. It's just so weird. It reminds me of kind of like a tomato puree. just with these odd elements of the mango and a little bit to a degree the habanero as well. It is. I mean, definitely points for originality on this one. I can think of no other sauce like it. The one sort of drawback for me with this is I like I said, I spent half the bottle trying to figure out where to put it. Because the tomato, you would think it would lend itself well to a variety of stuff, but then there's also that fruit element to it, which sort of stomps down on that a little bit. I tried it for pizza, on pizza, for instance, and it, I'm not going to do it again, I'll tell you that. I'll just leave it at that. I think it works pretty well with lighter meats, with fish and chicken and that type of thing. Darker meats, it clashes a little bit for me. Pork, I think it's fine on pork. To me, it's kind of a sort of a narrow, I guess, range that I enjoyed the sauce. Just that odd combination of, and the tomatoes aren't, I'm not sure how ripe they were when they did this, but they're not super deep, rich tomatoes as sometimes you can get. There's definitely a degree of acidity and astringency to that element as well. So I figured Arby's right now has got this 2 for $6 thing, and they did this rotational thing. So there's, you know, just different menu items at different times. Right now, the crispy chicken sandwich is on one of those. And I was agonizing. I knew I was going to do a crispy chicken sandwich because that seems to me to be like a perfectly fitting place for this. But whose? You know, McDonald's, Wendy's, Burger King, you know, who are we picking here? And I saw this. Oh my gosh. You guys, look at this. This is how they put this out the door with whatever, what even is this? Is this butter? Is this supposed to be butter for the, what is this? Butter for the bun, maybe? Yes, definitely fast food. You have not improved anything, but you should certainly be charging more. We need to make a concerted effort to fight the evil corporations. Anyway, so what the hell? Oh man. Moist Critical Charlie Penguin Z0 did a Diablo Dare, and I can't remember if I commented on that video or not. You can check in the random non-food playlist where I've commented on some of his other stuff. But one of his, when he's doing the Diablo Dare, I think the chicken was actually raw, and I'm a bit nervous that that might be the case with this as well. Brown wilted lettuce. What are we doing, guys? Is there more of that on there, or is it just that one? No, that one's okay. We'll have that. No, we won't. Oh, man. How disappointing. All right, well, see how it goes. I mean, it's solid-ish. I think my biggest problem with this is that it's not sweet enough. As at least some of the viewers know, I don't particularly like sour sauces. Hot and sour soup is one of my favorites. as far as, that goes. But that, I don't think is meant to refer to spice. Sweet and hot, yes, all day. Sweet and hot has been a good combination for probably time immemorial. Sour and hot, not so much. I think both of them have a tendency towards bitterness. Just not my thing. But I also really don't know of sour and hot being a thing, And some peppers are. I mean, I guess could sort of make the case for pickled, pickles, hot pickles. But those are not really sour to me as much as they are vinegary. Sour, I think, just kind of goes with itself. You see salt being combined with sweet. A lot of stuff's combined with sweet. Sweet in that respect, I think, is a lot more malleable. I mean, this was okay. It wasn't. I had a nice little bit of heat. I mean, this is not particularly hot sauce. They call it sort of medium. I guess that is a fine way to describe it. I mean, it's nebulous and kind of meaningless, but I mean, that's as good as anything else. Well, this one, I think, it wouldn't work to. I don't think this. I mean, they say Bloody Mary here. Breakfast, no. Wings, maybe I will actually keep this for wings. Italian cuisine, absolutely not. Bloody Mary, I don't drink those, but maybe. Like, I tried to pair it with the tomato on the sandwich here, and it didn't quite work the way I was thinking it might. But again, that's not a very ripe tomato, so. With this, I would give this a whack and some chili. I don't think I would ever try to use it though in Italian. I think it just sour in Italian doesn't strike me as something I would find overly pleasant, I guess. All right. Going. Wow. Come on now. Okay. Well, what's the verdict here? I think it's an interesting sauce, and I think it's a pretty novel spin on mango habanero, although this is definitely more tomato forward than anything else. I think this might be a good fit if you're interested in the more novel and unique side of things. It's not offensive. Like, I'm going to finish this bottle, no problem, but I'm also not ever going to get another one of these. This doesn't speak to me in quite that way. It does work really well for a dipping sauce. Like I said, fish sticks, chicken strips, that sort of thing. I think that works pretty well. It doesn't combine with other flavors, though, I don't think, particularly well, which I was kind of hoping might not be the case with the tomato in there, but just the idea, the concept of this, I think, was interesting enough for me to want to give this a go. Like I said, the one major problem is trying to figure out where there's going to be a home for this. Where is this going to be? What's its best suiting? And I think it is kind of that dipping sauce application where it doesn't have to. You have neutral breading, neutral meat, and it doesn't have to compete with other stuff. and I think that's kind of where it does okay. I wish it was sweeter. That I will say pretty emphatically. I think this could use probably triple the honey that's in it now. I think it'd be really interesting actually if it was sweetened, and maybe I will tinker around with that a little bit. I've been kind of kicking around the idea of fixing the sauces when I find things that don't particularly appeal to my palate. Not to say that they're not well designed and created by the sauce makers putting these together. I'm not implying anything like that. I'm just saying for my own specific palate, I think it'd be kind of interesting for me to try to tinker around with them a little bit and see if I can improve them possibly. So maybe that'll be something I do. I don't know if I'm going to actually film that, but if that's something you'd be interested in seeing, I guess, let me know. But outside of that, yeah, I mean, this is the more you like, I guess, kind of out there and particularly sour sauces. I think this might be worth a go. It is very well put together. I think it's very well orchestrated. It's nice and smooth. The flavor profile has been pretty consistent throughout the bottle, so I will give it that. And I'm not upset that I tried it. Certainly, it just doesn't quite speak to me in a way that I would want to experience again, I guess, ultimately, and we'll just leave it there. So that is the High Desert Sauce Company ToMango Habanero Hot Sauce. Now go forth in peace to serve the flame.